Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rusty here. Welcome back to Impact Dynamics Live for this beautiful Wednesday night. Hey, straight up the top of the show, very excited about tonight. We've got the Bearded Chap on the show and been talking with him a little bit. And I know I spread the rumour out that he might be a shooter. Well, at this stage, he still might be. So we will find that out a little bit later, so hang around for that. Tonight is our Zoom Hangout. So at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, you'll get the numbers up on screen and they'll be in the chat of where you can join us on Zoom, come in and hang out. They are requiring passwords now on Zoom, so we'll get past that complication somehow. Anyway, hope to see you in the chat after the show immediately. That'd be great. What else is going on? Stage 1 is sponsoring this episode, as you guys are probably familiar with by now. Stage 1, thanks to them, new S1 Stealth hoodie that you can pre-order online and save 10% off the pre-order price using the code IDLive10. That's ID Live and the number 10 on the end, and they look schmick. I'm looking forward to them. Should be in the end of May. That pre-order price actually wraps up this weekend, so if you are going to order, probably get your order in shortly. That will be wonderful. Team Impact. I hope you guys are doing well. Whatever it is that you are doing on Team Impact, I'm still ticking along. In my here we go. In the look at this. I'm doing all my exercises, things, doing what I'm meant to be doing. For haven't missed a day in May yet, which is good for me. I'm nice to see a whole stack of crew tagging me in posts, going for walks, doing their things, making videos, whatever it is that you are. So keep us posted on what you're doing with Impact, Team Impact at the moment. This is the last week of the show in this format. I need to stress that this daily format where we do it every day and have a guest on each night. Is going to wrap up because we've got PRS matches to organise and other things to do, so we need to get onto that. But we're not forgetting that how much we appreciate you guys being involved with this. So we're going to do some changes, and no doubt we will be back with something, just deciding on what that actually is at this stage. So yeah, Sheldrake points out, g'day to everyone in the chat, Scott, Ian, Paul, Lana, Conservative, Warwick, and Chris Hooper is in the chat, which I'm sure Luke is very excited to hear. No doubt there'll be some heckling through. Brad, Sheldrake, Jimmy, Dan is all here, which is awesome. Chris Hooper's just getting fat. Well, whatever, as long as you getting something, mate. That's all that matters. Sheldrake points out it's the last hangout tonight for the Wednesday night hangout, so that is true. So we will chat and see what was going on, and we haven't planned anything big for it, so just the usual sort of banter. Anyway, on the last week of this show, Steve Hurt is on tomorrow night talking about intermediate ballistics, and the guy has poured some work into this already, so I really hope you can hang around tomorrow. But that intermediate ballistics is like this brief little moment that the projectile leaves the barrel, and you may not give it much credence because it just flies out of there like crazy. But there's a lot going on at that point, and a man like Steve knows what's happening there and is going to delve into it for us. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and of course answering the general reloading questions and talking out of edge projectiles. So that will be excellent. Friday night we're catching up with Tiff Dew. If you don't know, Tiff is like Mr. Precision Rifle in the UK. He runs all the stuff over there, the big matches and all sorts of gear. So he is going to be first time as a guest on any of our shows. Tiff is joining us, and look forward to actually spending some time getting to know what's happening in the UK. Because once we can travel again, I've got family over there, and I might head over there and go for a shoot sometime. So that's what's coming up. By the way, if you have missed any episodes and you can't sit in front of YouTube for an hour at a time, all of these episodes are also on a podcast stream. So you can type into Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast setup you use, type in Impact Dynamics Live, and you should be able to find it there. And all 43 and soon to be 44 episodes are sitting there, as well as all the ones to come. Excellent, guys. I think we've got through all the things that we need to tonight. So now it's my pleasure. Oh, Sarah is here. Hello, Sarah. You haven't missed anything, just me talking junk, really. So all the good stuff is still to come. Anyway, so tonight joining me is Luke, and Luke is the founder and I guess maybe the Bearded Chap. We'll have to confirm or deny that a little bit later, but we'll find out. He does have a beard, which is probably pretty promising when he runs a company called the Bearded Chap. But Chris is how we know each other. But Luke is is the owner of the Bearded Chap, and has had a fascinating story that I've been observing on the outer, and we look forward to finding out more about what he's been able to do through this period of COVID. How he's been able to pivot his business and help the community and hopefully grow through that period, which many people haven't been able to do. So amazing to hear that. And let's check him out. Luke, are you there, mate?
Hey, Rusty, I am. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problems, mate. Thank you very much for coming on the show tonight.
No, I'm pumped.
Excellent, mate. Excellent. You got your beers ready? Beers in hand?
We do. Where is it? This beer needs beer.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I can definitely get around that. We had a little group watch on Saturday night with a few crew watching the Beards final show when they put it up on YouTube.
That's right. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Which was magic, and I managed to spot where I was. But anyway, so can you give us the quick 30-second rundown or so on the Bearded Chap as a company, and the quick little history to where we are now? Not necessarily going into the details, but we'll get into them shortly.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Luke. So I was the founder of the Bearded Chap. We launched the company 7.5 years ago. So at the time, we were the very first beard grooming product company in Australia, and about the 12th in the world. And then pretty much fast track to today, we've got customers or distribution all across Europe, USA, all over Australia through barbershops, and customers in over 51 countries direct to consumer through our online. And yeah, in the process of Bearded Chap Distilling Co., which is a distillery that we're planning for the next part of our journey.
Fantastic, mate. I do have questions about that, because I did uncover that as well in a little bit of research. Awesome. So I look forward to that.
But long story short, we make men's grooming products that are 100% natural, that are all made in Australia, and that pretty much make men looking for the best selves so they can go out and crush the world and in a masculine way. So.
I love it. We'll get into some of those things, because your products are different to what I've seen in the beard grooming world. I look forward to that. But we have rumoured all week now. You and I know each other because we share accountants, both Chris and Marcus. And Chris,
good accountant.
Good accountant. Chris told me we should speak to you and connected. And then in between that time, Marcus said, "Oh no, he's a shooter as well." And I went, well, Chris left that little nugget of gold out, because I was happy to have you on the show even if you weren't. But obviously I sent you the message going, well, we're a shooting organisation. We'll see how we go. And you came back, and yeah, we're probably having that confirmed now, because I can see both. Is it Larry and Barry behind you?
Larry and Barry, Blesbok and Springbok.
Yeah, I
didn't take those, but a good friend of mine did, and I'm babysitting, because his other half would not let him keep it.
Oh, well, I guess that works out in your favour then, Luke.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked briefly before, but you have been shooting for a fair chunk of your life, and starting in the US.
Yeah, so both my grandfathers shot all their lives. They came from nothing, and they used it as a form of tool to get food back in the day when they were poor. And on the land, and then I didn't. My dad never shot, and so I actually did college in the US. I was an athlete over in Georgia, in Atlanta, just under there.
Yep.
And so I was 19, and it was a pretty big culture shock, and shot in, no pun intended, but shot in to universities over there, and pretty much the first exposure to that was opening a bank account and getting a free shotgun, which I had to return. This was in 2008, 2009?
Yep.
No, 2006, 2007. And I had to return that because we couldn't have guns on campus, which didn't really stop me in the long term. But essentially gotten an understanding of the Second Amendment and their belief in firearms over there, and then the hunting culture that came along with that, and the camaraderie with friends and mates, and like if you have a son or a daughter, and bring that through as well.
Yep.
And then it was in my blood after that. So I actually lived down in Adelaide for a bit when I got back home from the US, and that's where I started researching on the guns. And then when I Queensland, and I'm an avid shooter now. So a member of GHAA, which is a hunting club up here.
Okay.
And they're phenomenal. And then, got a few firearms in my safe.
Oh, there we go, mate. Well, it's good to have the rumours confirmed. What were you being an athlete in Georgia? What sport
I
was
did
that?
track, cross country and track. So I was a
Right.
runner.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit heavier now than I was then.
That happens to the best of us, mate. Absolutely. All those guys who remain skinny, no point. Don't see that. No, all good. Yeah, nice, mate. Nice. And so you still get out hunting from time to time now. I imagine you're pretty busy with what you're doing, but
Yeah, I haven't been in a hunt in almost a year now,
okay.
which is devastating. My last hunt, I had a goat hunt, and it was a property on northern New South Wales we have access to
Mm-hmm.
through GHAA, and it got two trophy males, and got some good meat, had some good curried goat out of it. It's just when you go hunting, you sit there and you have guys who play hunting games on the internet, and they're just sitting there. And I remember I downloaded a hunting game one day, and I went, "What the fuck am I doing? I could be out there actually learning a real skill." And so that last hunt, because I actually had a hunt in a year before that,
Yeah.
and I remember I was sitting there, I was waiting 45 minutes for the shot because this head goat was laid down in the middle of the pack. It's probably a herd of about 40
Yep.
40 goats, and I couldn't get a clean shot on him. And I just waited there, and this magical rainbow bird appeared and danced in front of me, and just was incredible. I'd never seen a bird like that before, and then it fluttered away, and I was like, what an experience. So all those little things in hunting, all these little stories you get to take away. So
yeah, not wrong. My first goat that I shot was rooting another goat, and so I shot it in the prime of its life, and it fell down. So another one jumped on, so I got rid of that one as well. I mean, what a way to go if you're going to go out,
mate. On that goat hunt,
yeah.
while we were butchering that goat, I heard some grunting. Looked up, and there was a large male eastern grey. We had tags for the property, and got him mid pump through the throat, instantly. And she hopped away happy, and he fell over. So.
Yeah, right. So you're protecting her. I get it. Yeah, good. Good. Saviour.
Oh my God, nice. Hilarious.
Fantastic, mate. So you've been, how long have you been in business for?
So Bearded Chap's been around for 7.5 years. That's since I launched that my company there. I had a few little businesses over the years I had a crack at.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I was in the alcohol industry, an executive level, doing sales for companies like Burley Brewing Company and Sirame Wines, which are big Queensland independent companies up here.
Yep.
And then kind of hated that and packed it all up and found a gap in the market and went hard into it. So I just love business. It's so much fun, and like with your companies, there's always a problem to solve. And when you're actually passionate about something, it's not really work. Like, you have your highs and lows, but
of course, yeah,
it's better than 9 to 5 and a job just staring at a screen.
Yeah, you enjoy, and the people. I think for me, the people and many watching this show, you appreciate the connections you make with these guys, and then people you get to meet because of opportunities. It's an amazing experience, but
you're bang on.
It's hard work, as you would no doubt attest to.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I guess the thing that is significantly notable, or was pointed out to me by Chris, was that the coronavirus scenario was creeping up and coming in, and you guys were able to make a big change very quickly. How did that come about, and what did you end up doing? Yeah,
cool. So, we're in men's grooming and hygiene products, and so we had the 2 weeks prior to the lockdown and the whole world imploding, we had been sales have been dropping off dramatically, and so obviously a little concerned. My way of solving problems is to go hard on sales. Everyone likes to cut costs. I just go hard on sales. So develop the strategy. We're going to hit regional areas in the barbershops there, because a lot of our competitors don't pay attention to regional areas because they're so far away. But we really try to support all of our customers, regardless of where they are, with a lot of education so they know about the products. We've got so many customers who are rural based as well, like in Isa, rural South Australia, WA as well. It's phenomenal, our customer base and the variation of where they are. And yeah, essentially it was all coming down. We were having some headway there. And then my girlfriend, she is a ED doctor, and I was talking to her, and she let me know that all her doctor friends at the hospitals and stuff were running out of hand sanitizer, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, how was that even possible?" And so that was on a Friday night, and then we pretty much looked up formulas side by side because I like to think huge, and Sarah checks me into reality and make sure I can actually do it. And so we looked up and found the formulation through the WHO, the World Health Organization, for the approved formula in the world, regardless of where you are. That is known and being tested. And so that was it. Pretty much the next day, we were onto it with our graphic designer, designed the labels. We were just very lucky that our beard wash, we actually changed beard wash manufacturers because they weren't doing a consistent job with our formulation, and we're having some inconsistencies in the way the customers receive it. And consistency is the key in everything, including shooting.
Especially shooting,
Spot
on.
And so we pretty much organized. We had almost 14,000 bottles that were sitting in our warehouse, and on a Friday night I was trying to find bottles everywhere, and like other companies who, like, through our printer, they're printing like 500,000 labels and had 500,000 liters of hand sanitizer, but no one had bottles, and we had bottles, lids, and we had the formula for hand sanitizer, and we had the connections through our supply chain. But ethanol was short on supply. So by Monday morning, we had everything, including our label design, up to the TGA standard, which is pretty much the FDA guideline, so that no dodgy people can come into the market. And then I tried to secure some ethanol, a couple 100 liters, wholesale. Everywhere was just like, good luck, champion. And so I drove from here with my videographer. We actually got a in-house videographer, and he was starting a documentary 2 days before. So he's got this whole thing on film.
I was going to ask you about that because I heard about that. But anyway, we'll come back to that for sure. So you went for a drive.
And so we drove out from here to Ipswich, to Toowoomba, and went to petrol stations, paint shops, tool hardware shops, camping shops, and we bought every single bit of methylated spirits we could find. And we ended up getting 400 litres around about from that. And the next day, we're online selling, and sales are ticking over. And then we got a call from the Queensland government asking what if we needed anything to be able to supply the market, and if they could help us out, could we supply the hospitals? And we're like, yep, no worries, we need ethanol. And Bundaberg Rum had kindly donated 100,000 litres to the government.
Wow.
The Queensland government, and they went, how much do you need? So we got a couple of 1,000 litres on a truck and hooned down from Bundaberg to Brisbane. And then essentially I hired 7 new team members who either got their work cut, or I knew in previous companies I worked for, or who were really good friends who'd been cut down in work hours. And we got to work, and we pretty much online sales went through the roof, and we were pretty much fulfilled between 10 of us working 18-hour plus days. We walked all the way over Easter long weekend. We've poured, bottled, or mixed, poured, capped, labelled, packed, and sent a bit over 14,000 bottles. And then whatever we had left that we hadn't already sold, because we were doing about 4,000 orders a day at the time, online, we said to the government, we can't give away our customers' orders they've already bought. So we gave them the last 3,750 bottles. And then as soon as our new bottles arrived, we shipped the rest of their 10,000. So,
Wow.
it's been a roller coaster. And that all happened in 19 days. And
Far out. Yeah, right.
yeah. Yeah. So we pretty much did 6 months worth of work in 6 weeks. And during that period of time as well, we moved to a bigger warehouse where we're in right now, and an
just
office.
to add to it, yeah, right.
We did that in 3 days because our other warehouse, we were packed to the rafters. But it's just been phenomenal. Like we're one of the few people to provide clinical grade, one of two, as we know, according to Queensland Central Pharmacy, that provide clinical grade, which is 80% ethanol BV, which is the minimum requirement of the WHO, up to 85%. So we're in the higher range. We're tested by the Queensland Scientific and Forensic Labs. And essentially we're one of the few non-registered companies in Australia that has actually been able to supply into clinical and non-clinical in Queensland hospitals, which is like really amazing. And shout out to all the guys out there and the front line of that, even though we've been very lucky in Australia. And then again, when all the customers out in the market, they had to wait a while because it was taking like 4 days to fulfill 1 day's worth of orders. But everyone was so patient, and it's been really awesome to help our community and all the people around Australia as well get themselves protected. But
absolutely,
big shift.
Yeah, not wrong. So shifting warehouse. Dave Sheldrake is complaining. He's wondering. He's now worked out why he couldn't find a single drink of methylated spirits in Ipswich, because apparently that's his. That and orange juice is his jam.
Sorry, man.
Maybe he should just up his game with what he drinks. But whatever. Keep people.
Don't drink the germ killer. This is it right here.
There you go,
baby.
That's the one that's got the story.
And we called it. And the government actually called us the best looking bloody germ killer on the market. And they're like, how did you make hand sanitizer sexy? And it's just a part of our product range as well. And it's cool because it aligns with everything we do. It fits in with all of our other products. It's a core range for us now, which we can provide to not only our customers who use it day to day, but also barbershops. We've got into pharmacies now. Obviously, we're continuing to supply the government, and then our overseas distributors as well, because I know they're hitting pretty hard in Europe and the US as well. So
this is not
good to have Aussie products getting shot out over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is not just like a quick let's do something and help out, and then it's going away. This is now another opportunity for you that you see where it plays out.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, due to all this, like it's going to be a part of mainstream stuff, and like even a lot of people. A lot of other companies who just like were like there's a lot of distilleries that came to market with this, which is cool because they'll be able to provide ethanol, but they're always going to go back to their main consumption alcohol. We're in cosmetics and hygiene essentially, so it's not really an extension for us, but not too far of a stretch for us. But I think moving forward, it's going to be a core range, and we've just got. Like barbers need to have it at every station because dealing with people's faces and stuff. And if it continues to spread, so that's going to be a really essential part of business there. And again, even in the range and stuff, like the fact that our product is in a bloody hospital looking after doctors just completely blows my mind, because 2 months ago, I would never in my wildest dreams thought we were making a hand sanitizer. Just like 7 years ago, I didn't think we'd be making a beard product. And 2 years later, I didn't think we'd be making a deodorant. Like it's all things that our customers have asked for, and we've adapted to our market in order to, because if the market doesn't want it, you're not going to have it. And it's been pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And you said you've hired new staff during this process, which no doubt is a welcomed change for many. Yeah,
everyone's been firing, and we were just so fortunate we could hire. So they're only casuals. However, we've got a couple of them intended to be permanent in the long run over the next 6 to 12 months, which is really exciting. And again, like I have friends in business who had to fire like 30 people in one day, and the fact that we can hire like 10 people in a week and offset their income until either their job comes back or whatever. It's been really awesome to do.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Even if it's only temporary, just for this period of time, that's awesome. If you can continue some of that growth, that's magic. What is also magic, Luke, is the fact that and this is how it came up, I think, from Chris, was that you put on a videographer not knowing any of this, just to create content for your business or to potentially do a documentary. But was it just to build content and build social side of things initially?
Yeah. So Hayden, he's been with us. I hope he's bloody listening. I don't know. He's probably chilling out tonight. He should be recording this as well. But anyway, we put towards the end of last year, I think it was about September, I was looking for a videographer because in the way business is going these days, it's all about content and not so much just creating content for the sake of it. Like we don't do a post every day. If it's not relevant, we're not going to fucking do it because you have to. It's like we want to be able to inform our customer and give valuable content or information that's interesting. And if we don't do a couple of days posting and then we post something, we want a customer to be like, holy shit, that looks awesome. So we put Hayden on in September last year, and he's a phenomenal videographer, and he's just been capturing not only behind the scenes and cool content and documenting things in long form, but also like putting together our product shots and like informational content about our products. And we're trying to obviously build our YouTube presence as well. And it's because like the way I see business now is you're either an entertainer or an educator. And as long as you're doing one of those two things for your customers, you're going to engage them and hopefully do both. And if you're not doing that, then you're fucking done. Like the world's changing with business. And again, if you just think you build a website and people will come, or you're just relying on a great product, but it's got shitty packaging, people aren't going to buy it. You can have the best packaging in the world and a shitty product, people are only going to buy once. So it's about everything, like really actually caring about your customers and getting them into your life. Just like you've been doing with your podcast, just building that community of like-minded people. Our products aren't for everyone, but the people who resonate with them, we love them and love speaking with them. We're so appreciative of them, and it's awesome. I love it. Gives me goosebumps.
Awesome, mate. It's awesome to see someone so passionate about their industry, their business, and what they do. That's really critical. Absolutely, and so and phenomenal that you will have this whole journey. I can't wait to see this documentary. Assuming that is what you do with it, and if you're not doing that, you're mad. But
Hayden's put. I think there's. I think he's almost done, but he's got a trailer out.
Yeah, right.
It's called Balls to the Wall because that's exactly what happened.
But just the amazing, I can't say foresight because you didn't see it coming per se, but just the magic of having someone there because of where your business was headed anyway to then capture that entire process. I'm very much looking forward to it. So I look forward to seeing how that and no doubt the challenging decisions that were made and the stupidly late nights that we all go through.
It's pretty funny, like some of the things we've done, and even looking back on the stuff I've seen that Hayden's been in cutting and stuff, and like 1 minute, like I think there's one point I actually cried because I was so overwhelmed at like that we are working with like people like the government and these big companies to be able to help the community, and I was just like, holy fuck! So it's insane, man, insane.
Nice, mate. Nice. And I have been looking through some of the products that you've had online. We're just getting the question, what sort of men's grooming products you make and stuff. We're about to get into that. Good timing on that, conservative sniper hunter. Well done. But you clearly you have a heart bigger than just for money and business and stuff, because I'm seeing here that you did the fire relief beard oil. And I was reading through it, going, good on them. They're making a product, trying to help out. And then I read on here, where did I see it?
100% of the dollar sale value.
Like every single cent of the $100 price is donated. So this is not like we give 5%.
It pissed me off. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to donate all profits." I'm like, "You're still fucking profiting, mate. Like, and you're taking advantage of someone's unfortunate situation." So for me, it was donating. So the Red Cross, we got behind them, and we got our label supplier, Ultra Labels, to give them a shout out. They supplied the labels free of charge to us, and then we donated the bottles, the labor, and all of the raw ingredients. And again, you can see it from our website. Our products aren't cheap, and so we and for this one, I didn't know how it was going to be accepted in the community because literally we made smoky bushfire. It literally smells like you're sitting around a bushfire, and we've added a bit of oud wood to it just to make it smell a little bit like nice instead of just smelling like a campfire. And it was meant to be like, if you donate $100, you're going to get something back for free, and it's to commemorate. It was more of a gimmick just to commemorate, and that was our part of it. And then we raised about $5,000 out of the 50, because we only made 500 of them all individually. And then there was a thing with Australia Cross not donating all the money to the fire relief, and as soon as that happened, everything stopped. Which I was totally with as well, because it was pretty disappointing. So yeah, we've still got them for sale, and we're just holding on in a special trust account, essentially, any of the extra bottles that are being sold. And we're going to essentially go down to some of those regions after it's all done, because like that happened, and then the fucking COVID-19 happened, and everyone's forgotten about those the guys who've been affected by the fire, and all the firefighters and what they saw, and all the people lost their homes down all everywhere. And so you're going to try and go down there and document it as well, and actually give money like to directly to these people and get their story on it as well, because it's good. It's the right thing to do.
Absolutely, mate. I've got the image up there of the fire relief one. I was just when I was having a look before, I'm like, oh man, it's not 100% of profits. That is a hundred. Things cost $100.
All $100 went to it.
That's
and we're copping the GST on it. Like, but again, it was a donation, so everything's gone, and it was really nice to make that commitment to as well. And the people who did buy it, like some of our hardcore customers, they're like, why did you make a smoky bushfire smell? Like, I'm not going to use this all the time. I thought it was going to smell way different because of some of the other ones are so nice smelling. And I was like, it was just to commemorate and just have something on the wall to commemorate that point in time. And we've got it all on the side of the product, like a little a blurb about commemorating, and shout out to all the firefighters and first responders and all that type of stuff. It was just a bit of fun Australia colloquialism.
I love it. And so I'm just having a look here. The limited edition tobacco and vanilla beard oil. That's cool. Like I've noticed that a lot of your a lot of it is quite blokey. I guess it's not often you see with beard oil and beard balms and stuff. You're like, I don't really want that close to my face. Like I'm not really that keen. But this sort of stuff, you go, I can get around that. That sounds
yeah. Cool. Which like the whole concept. Whoa, did I just press music?
I'm not dancing yet, music. So okay. All right, well, not yet.
It was the whole thing was with all their products is when we started because essentially we're in the cosmetic industry, by industry, and it had through the early 2000s, etc. It was super feminized. You had shows like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and all this stuff, just feminizing the fuck out of male grooming. But you go back 100 years or even 200 years, everyone is wearing a beautiful hat, beautiful coat. Their beard is immaculate. If you had a beard 200 to 100 years ago, you were extremely wealthy because it takes a lot of time to keep your beard in impeccable shape.
Yeah, right.
And then it was funny because I'd be up against these old boys because I love Jeeps. I have quite a collection of Jeeps, old Jeeps, and I had a big JK that I had tricked out, and I just love going to places that no one else can go, and not breaking. Like I built them so they didn't break.
Oh, and that's rare for Jeeps.
Just empty every pocket, eh? And I literally just wanted to bring some masculinity back into the grooming world. And along with that, there was as not long after we popped up, the resurgence of barbershops came back, which is the second oldest profession in the world apart from prostitution. So literally it was this nice cycle. and we got to make guys look and feel good about themselves, so they can, we like to say, go out and get laid. Because if you're not looking good and smelling good, your missus probably isn't going to pay any attention to you. But making it masculine, because there's been so much masculinity bashing in the community the last 2 years, let alone the last 10. And so we're trying to make men be proud again, have our purpose, look and feel good. Because when you look and you feel good, you can go out and you're confident. You can talk to people. You want to go for that job, you'll go get it because you're confident enough. If you want that girl, if you want that guy, if you're that way inclined, like, it's just whatever you want to do, you can do if you're feeling good and you're looking good and you take pride in yourself. And it, like, I don't know, even the last couple of weeks, people are just stuck at home and they've lost that routine of getting groomed out in the morning.
Yeah.
They feel like shit after lunch. It's that thing. But if you hop on in the morning, when you put a suit on, you go into a ball and you're like, fuck, I'm good. Like, it's really cool, that feeling. So that's what we want to inspire with our products, and have that feeling like this is taken from the alcohol industry. So when you're at a bar and you're drinking a beer and you're like, oh yeah, what are you drinking? And you see someone, they've got a specific beer in their hand. It's literally signaling, social signaling. They're like, oh, I'm drinking this beer, right? Or I'm drinking that beer. And you make an assessment on that person based on what beer they're drinking, because it's an ad for what you are.
Yep.
And so if you go and you go, how do you like that beer? Or you're like, why the fuck are you drinking that, mate? And blah, blah, blah. But it's a social signal. So we want to make a product that, because a lot of women buy their partners or boyfriends' products, and it's pretty much very feminine looking packaging and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And we want to have you open up your wet pack if you're camping or if you're on a hunt or on a fishing trip with your mates, and you open it up and they're like, what the fuck is that? That looks awesome. And so that's what we want to inspire in our packaging. Sure. And then have the ingredients in that were, number one, made in Australia, because again, it's another reason why we were able to pivot.
Yeah. Because
we beat, during this whole thing, because we beat people, multinational companies. We supplied the hospitals before multinational companies did, because everything comes from China and they bottled it in Australia and they said it was made in Australia. And we were able to do everything in-house because we had the right equipment. Yep. We had the right knowledge to be able to create the formula. And again, it was just be able to like GDP, gross domestic production. And we're not producing shit at the moment because it's being shifted around everywhere. So that's the whole, got a bit off track there, but anyway, we're vanilla and
tobacco. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just want to make products, man, that are really good quality in Australia, and just make men feel good. So when you whip it out of your bag, everyone's like, you're proud of it, you know?
I love it. So we're getting a bunch of requests in the chat. Are you familiar with G96 or Hoppy's 9 gun cleaning products?
I've heard of G96. Is that in a spray can?
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah, black and yellow.
Yep. I got a can a couple of weeks ago.
There you go.
When I bought up big on ammo before they put the restrictions in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are many requests for G96 beard oil, which could be a very unique market. But you'll get some shooters that'll buy that one for sure.
That's interesting. We'll have to play around with that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to write it down for real.
Write that down. There could be some collaboration work going on in there with the firearms industry. I think that'd be good fun. Yeah, I don't know how many girlfriends will be in for that one, but it's all right. You'll get respect when you go to the range. Market it as rangewear. Rangewear. Yeah, perfect.
So good.
Yeah, take care of your beard and your gun.
Yeah. Multi-purpose.
Done. Yeah. Another
That's
market.
A tagline right there.
We're done. We're in. Well, we better close this chat down and go start working on the new label. Good stuff, mate. Now, speaking of new products that are perhaps a little bit further along the development path than G96 beard oil, but stay tuned, is the distillery side of things.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you've got a background in the booze world, and and you deal with bottling and doing all that sort of stuff. Now, what's the plan there?
So it's basically to offset for me, it was offset the risk. I love the alcohol industry. I've already started and exited out of another distillery in Brisbane. So I didn't think I'd be starting one so soon. Again, after I exited that, but there was just an opportunity to get back in and reassess the market as well. So in the future, to be able to not rely, and again, it came back down to not relying on someone else to be able to provide me ethanol for our germ killer.
Yep.
Because I'm a hunter gatherer. Where can I get this from? I'm hunting that.
Yep.
So don't want anyone to be able to provide for me. I'm going to provide for myself if I need to. So that was the first point of call. So we're going through all the licensing process. It's quite a long task to actually set up a distillery.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of licensing involved, and it was pretty similar to applying for a gun license, essentially.
Okay.
And then it's very, very expensive as well. So,
yep.
where we've got a still, one of the largest stills in Queensland being built, so pure copper still. So it's an Australian-made still as well, which is awesome.
Yep.
A lot of stuff comes over from China again, and we're planning over the next 6 months, and we'll have the Bearded Chap gin distillery. And so we're going to, because again, I'm a massive rum person.
Yep.
Was what my old distillery was, and all my mates drink rum. And I never really got into gin, and then I started experimenting with it probably a month or two ago, and really, really enjoyed, because of my background in the wine industry as well.
Yep.
So gins are really complex and botanicals. But for me, a gin was a woman's drink. That was again, this whole thing was trying to remasculate a drink that for hundreds of years in the UK and in the Netherlands was the man's spirit. And so we're gonna keep things simple, because everything that I do with the alcohol industry, it has to be sessionable. So that's the test.
Okay.
So you've got to sit down with your mates and have a session. And if you can't have a session on it, then I don't want it in my portfolio. So we're going to
put it out there, Luke. If you need some testing done on that, I'm sure you got plenty of offers, but we've got matches, and there's generally a good amount of people there, and sessions are required.
Well, we need good primary research. That's sure.
That's right. We can write up documents or document it, or whatever need to be done. We're not getting off scot-free.
You can do an unboxing on YouTube. So, but we just want to make again, it's going to kind of keep in line with the range that we've got in our beer products. So beautiful amber bottle, proud to show off. And we're going to only going to make 6 gins. We're only going to use 6 botanicals to make up each of those gins. It's going to be a couple that are classic and a couple of Australian style gins. So using local natives. We're working with some really cool indigenous companies that are going to be able to provide really awesome botanicals from that. And we're looking forward to it. But again, it's a long process. So I'll keep you posted. But at the moment we're just doing a lot of R&D, which is pretty fun, and hiring a master distiller, and just going through the licensing process and finding out the best water, the best botanicals. So when you taste it, you're like, fuck that. I want someone to taste gin who's never tasted gin before and go, fuck, that's awesome. And I had my first gin and coke last night, and I was like, this is amazing. This is awesome. So that's what I want people to feel like that, and be proud, and not in that type of way as well. But we're super excited for that. And the synergy between the Bearded Chap and the grooming products and the Bearded Chap distilling co is so awesome, because again, you're sitting in a barbershop, want to have a drink, awesome. You at a bar, all that type of thing. You're sitting around a campfire, blah blah. It's so much fun. We love it.
Yeah, nice. It's certainly developing that lifestyle around and catering for many options there. I was going to say a reasonable amount of your market actually female, not obviously for wearing the product, but for buying the product.
Yeah, 100%. So, especially obviously the gift giving seasons, and also with this germ killer, because they're obviously the ones who are being sensible. Us blokes, not that sensible and a bit grub sometimes.
What do you mean sometimes?
But yeah, I know, right? But things like our deodorant, they almost there's so many women who buy our deodorant for their partners because our product doesn't have aluminium in it. So aluminium's for those who don't know, it's a massive, it's a very bad chemical to put in your body. Blocks up, it stops you from sweating, which is bad in itself, but also has been linked highly to lymph cancer. Sarah's going to kill me. I don't know that name. And also, like, you know, if you're wearing a black shirt for work, whatever, and you get these white, hard pit stains, well, you don't get that with our product, and it fucking works, because otherwise, the first version 1.0 did not work, and I stopped using it. And if I'm not using my own product, how the fuck can I sell it to someone? So we went back to the drawing board, and our deodorant works now. And you think about deodorant, once you find a good deodorant, you use it.
That's
forever.
It for life. Yeah.
And so we've got a lot of people. And then the funny thing is that the women start using it as well, because it smells so good.
Yeah, right.
Which is really fun. Is that what you were getting at with the ladies buying our products, or?
Maybe eventually that's where we were going. I mean, no, we were looking at it before with my wife, and she looked up she was looking at the deodorant, because she's quite, as you point out, you know, they're usually a little bit more aware of some of the stuff that probably shouldn't be putting on the body, and she's like, "Yeah, that looks good. You should get some of that." So I'm going to be getting some of that. That'll go in with the tobacco
we'll hook you up and send some down.
Vanilla thing. That'll be good, man. That'll be good. So is part of your you said pushing more into regional areas? Is this like like? You've also go, well, if I go a little bit more regional, I could hook up some more hunting properties here. Is this like, are you going to go on the road and start doing the promotion?
Oh, yeah.
Because as soon as you said that was the first thing I thought. I'm like, he'll be out there shaking hands. Well, not shaking hands for now, but, we're Germ Killer on there and shaking hands.
I still shake hands. Yeah, exactly.
Enough of that. But yeah, might get some really good opportunities for some hunting locations.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's, again, you go out into regional communities now, and they're very protective, because that, like, at core, most shooters and hunters are really respectful. We're good people. We're considered really, like, ethical people as well.
Yep.
But there's that 10% or even the 1% that fuck it up, and they can have a bad experience. And so, especially in the regional community, I found, especially if you're a city slicker, they're very hesitant to let you onto properties as well, because it's a privilege. It's especially when you're walking on someone's land, and we also hopefully add value for that farmer or that landholder in regards to inspecting cattle or checking fences, because our country's so vast. So it's definitely, I hope through that travel that we do, because we will go out face to face. Like, this is how much we invest in our customers. Go out face to face and train them, and they've never even seen a rep from any company, and these are global companies as well.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're telling them we're coming out there, like, I've been out to Birdsville twice with the alcohol industry, but I'm planning on going out there, and we want to do stuff out there because it's so much fun, and they get to have that real cool experience. You get to meet awesome people, and then again, if there's an opportunity to hunt, I'm down.
Yeah, happy days. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And so you were talking. Sorry.
So I was going to ask you a question, because I just remembered I actually went out to a mate's property over New Year. Okay. And I went for a duck hunt.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, when was the last hunt you went on, and what did you hunt?
Good question, mate. Good question. ever since we delved into the PRS world, the hunting has been few and far between. I reckon the last trip that I'm consciously aware of was we went spotlighting one night. And I only had my comp gun with me, and only had comp ammo, which is not the best hunting ammo. So everything basically had to be a headshot.
It's NATO ammo, isn't it?
not quite, but everything had to be a headshot, which is good. And I think we nailed 10 foxes and a cat that night, which I was very happy with. And I think I think I was the only one actually shooting. The other guys were driving and spotting and stuff. So we're going back too far now, Luke, because we've spent way too much time setting up clubs and setting up the PRS matches and stuff like that. But hunting is something I certainly want to delve back into. But as you know,
here's another question: what's your ultimate hunt? Your ultimate hunt, anywhere in the world, any species, and what rifle or what caliber would you use to shoot it with?
One big question for you then. Can I choose my fitness level? Like magically choose my fitness level?
You were like G.I. Joe jacked running through like commando style.
Yeah, it would be up in the that amazing area in New Zealand where they've got, if you've seen photos or images of it, where you have to get balloted out on the to get areas on there, and they shoot tar and they shoot a couple other things, but just that, and you usually get dropped in by a chopper. And just the locations are incredible. I think if I had the time to, well, if I chose to make the time to develop the fitness to do all of those things, nice, lightweight, but capable long range gun, and then be able to go and do that over in New Zealand, I think would be a phenomenal experience. Even if you saw nothing, got nothing, just the location would be amazing.
It's part of the adventure, eh?
Yeah. And the other one would have been pig hunting in Texas, but I managed to do that last year. So,
amazing! How good! Actually, my brother-in-law, he's a U.S. Navy officer from Texas, so I'm going to go over there and get some pigs with him.
Actually, that might have been my last hunting trip. Was while we were in Texas and shot hogs with night vision scopes. So that was really good fun. We did a video.
Thermo or night vision?
We're using thermal to spot and then night vision to shoot.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we actually
on
filmed all
semis of that. On AR.
Yeah, this is why I film everything, so I don't have to remember the details of it. I think one was a 2-3, one might have been a Grendel, but it was. Are you familiar with the brand Magneto Speed at all? They do the chronographs, and chronographs that sort of.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so with Ivan, who's one of the guys there, he took us out hunting on the Magneto Speed block, and it was phenomenal. So I can't remember what guns we used, but we filmed it, and then we sat around.
The pigs are prolific over there, though. They're crazy.
Yeah, and they like Kool-Aid as well. They like to drink the Kool-Aid. So that was a really good way to bring it in. So, yeah,
that is so funny.
I look forward to getting out at some point, but we've got a bit more work to do in growing the precision rifle community and stuff before we can spend all the time hunting again. So I did get a good fix in when we were a couple of years ago before we sort of kicked off our own projects. We were hunting, myself and Dutchy, who I do a podcast with. We were hunting about 30 times a year would be. We
oh my God!
Much every second weekend we were away, and this is with pre-kids as well. I was
like, that is baller.
So we were out shooting a huge. We had roo contracts, and we had just go out for foxes and stuff like that, and so we'd get all the roos done in like 45 minutes because they were so many of them, and then we'd spend the next like 4 hours just trying to chase this one fox, or try and because there's only one fox on the entire property. But it was good fun. So I did a lot back then, and we'll get back to that point in life one day. But
hell yeah.
That was good, but I'm gonna. You're asking questions before about the type of shooting that we do, so I'm gonna send you a little video of the stuff we do, because if you're out in Brisbane, for anyone who is watching in Queensland, there are about 4 clubs that hopefully soon will be back up and running, and not too far away they'll be running comps again for anyone who does want to get a precision rifle, because a really good opportunity to be out there. Sheldrake's complaining he hasn't been hunting in 7 or 8 years. Well,
oh my God!
When you're back into it, well, when the world opens up again, mate, go and make a weekend of it. Go and do it.
I think they actually opened up hunting and shooting in Victoria and New South Wales in the last week.
Yeah. There's a lot's coming back, which is good, because some of the things that locked down was ridiculous, as you alluded to before about Queensland banning firearms and ammunition sales for stupid reasons, and Yeah, it was extremely
Yeah.
disappointing.
Luckily, it got repealed
Yeah,
in Queensland anyway.
Queensland was a fascinating one because they put it in and then like edge back, edge back, edge back, edge back very quietly to the point now where I believe it's all open as of
It's
sometime
absolutely
this
fine.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely fine. Yeah, they got smacked on the wrist because people. I'm sure you have a lot of regional customers out there as well, but people just don't understand how big Queensland is as well.
Oh,
I've done a lot of outback stuff, but
Yeah.
you can drive, because I've done this both of these times. So you can drive from Brisbane to Melbourne in 21 hours.
Yep.
And you've gone through Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria.
Yep.
You can drive from Brisbane to Birdsville, and you're still in Queensland. It takes about 27 hours, and that's not doing the speed limit.
Yeah.
and you're literally still in the same state. And
Yep.
you look at on a map how wide Queensland is versus how long it is. And I'm pretty sure that Queensland has the longest, or the most amount of roads out of any state.
Oh, there's no
Dirt and bitumen.
That's a weird flex, mate. But okay, whatever makes you feel better, Luke. That's all good, man.
Interesting fact.
Interesting facts for sure, man. For sure. So, in wrapping up, mate, how can people find you and check out the beard stuff and stay tuned to all the distillery sort of projects? Where can they track you down?
Yeah, cool. Well, if you want to find me personally and get my hunting and stuff, it's at Lukey Swenson.
Yep.
If you want to follow the Bearded Chap, it's the Bearded Chap on everything.
Yep.
Across all social media. So keep up to date with all the stuff we're doing. And the distillery is the Bearded Chap Distilling Co. Only on Instagram at the moment because we're obviously pretty early stages. So,
Sure.
But yeah, hopefully, if you find anything you like, love to have you as a customer. If there's any questions you have, please hit us up.
Yeah.
And hopefully on my social, you'll see some. I think if you flick through, you'll see a picture of my goat that I got that time.
Yep.
And a few of my firearms. But
yeah, awesome.
hopefully, you'll see a few more of that pretty soon as well.
Absolutely. And guys, if you're watching, thebeardedchap.com is where you can, and not .com.au as I sent the first email
.com.
to.
We're global.
Yeah, that was my bad. Thebeardedchap.com, and you can check everything out there in terms of all the products and stuff like that to see what Luke is up to, and there's some cool stuff there. As mentioned, that Fire Relief one there is a few bottles left at least, and definitely worth checking out and supporting a fellow shooter and someone who is also able to have employed more people in the last couple of months, where everything else has gone backwards for many others. So, Luke, congratulations for what's happened and the way you've been able to sort of pivot your business.
Thanks,
and no doubt I'm excited to see what happens in future with the distillery and all sorts of things, and keep shooting, keep hunting, and no doubt at some point we will connect on that level and go out for a shoot together one day. Yeah,
I'll try and get down to SA to visit you and Chris in the next 6 months at least, if we're allowed to cross borders.
Yeah, and we'll be up hopefully in Queensland by the end of the year for a PRS match for the same reasons. If everything goes smoothly, we have a match booked in for Bigoden. We was booked in for Bigoden in a couple of weeks, but clearly that ain't going to happen. But anyway,
well, let me know, and we'll see if we can support you in any way. It'd be great to get out there and help support you guys as well.
Get around and get into it. Fantastic, mate. Well, thanks for sticking around, and we wish you all the best, and we'll no doubt talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rusty, for having me.
Cheers, man. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Heaps for watching, mate. Massive week this week. Tomorrow night, Steve Hurd is on board, and Tiff due on Friday night. Looking forward to that. Sunday night, I think Ben Jarrett's got something planned, and then we'll wrap up with the Team Impact catch up and the final show with Andy Little on Monday night. And make sure you're around for that one there. And if you're wanting to hang out on Zoom, we will be over there shortly, and details will be in the on the end of the show, and we'll chuck them in the chat right now. But thanks heaps for watching, and look forward to seeing some G96 beard oil in the future at some point. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.